So turnout will play a key role in Monday's Iowa caucuses. Last time around, 2012, just over 121,000 Republicans showed up for a turnout rate of slightly less than 20%. There were no Democratic caucuses because President Obama ran unopposed. Going back to 2008, there were 119,000 Republicans for a turnout rate of about 20%, while twice as many Democrats showed up, 239,000, for a turnout rate of nearly 40%. Mike Gallagher is a syndicated radio host, Fox News contributor. Bernard Whitman, former Bill Clinton pollster, CEO of Whitman Insight Strategies. Fascinating that, I guess, with Barack Obama running in 2008, Bernard, that really ginned up, and Hillary Clinton as well was still in the race at the time, but it ginned up people wanting to come out. I was surprised to see these numbers that almost double the Republicans coming out.
Yeah, typically we get about 125,000 Democrats in Iowa. This was almost double that at 239. I would guess we'll probably get somewhere between 215 and 265. And ultimately, that is going to favor Hillary Clinton. Why? The greatest predictor of whether you're going to come out and vote in a caucus, which is sort of a pain in the butt to do. You got to stand there for hours. You got to debate.
Right.
You got to publicly declare your allegiance. It takes a lot of work. The best indicator is if you've done it before. And if you look at the voters who went out in 2008, and who voted for Barack Obama disproportionately, they favor Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders 55-38.
It's also frustrating to see such anemic numbers when it comes to turnout, no matter what party. I got to give credit to the Democrats for turning out in a higher percentage. But one thing that all the media attention, I think, points towards is a much better turnout this year. It's hard to believe that people wouldn't go, as problematic and as challenging it is to caucus. You got to go vote. And if it's true that Trump is commanding all this media attention for the Republicans, there's going to be a really good turnout. And the key is going to be turnout. But boy, it ought to be a wake-up call. Those numbers ought to be a wake-up call to everybody not to sit home on your fanny.
Yeah, I like that. My mom used to call it the fanny, too. Okay, here's the newest Iowa poll from NBC News and the Wall Street Journal. Donald Trump on top with a 7-point lead. Ted Cruz second with 25%, followed by Marco Rubio with 18% and Donald 32%. But I think the biggest news there, Bernard, is Marco Rubio's up to 18%.
Well, here's the thing. I think Ted Cruz and Donald Trump are going to be fine. They're going to come in 1 and 2, I believe, in both Iowa and New Hampshire. This could spell the death knell for Marco Rubio. Why? If you actually look at the New Hampshire poll, he could come in 4th to John Kasich. He comes in 4th and then goes into South Carolina weekend. He could actually tie Bush and Carlson, who are effectively also ran.
Yeah.
This could spell the end for Marco Rubio.
There's 3 people at 11% in New Hampshire in the latest poll that came out today, so you never know. And you never know in Iowa. For gosh sake, nobody really knows what Donald Trump's ground game is in Iowa, right?
And tonight, Rubio, like Cruz, like all of them, have a chance to finally focus on what their issues are rather than having to deflect what Trump's issues are. This could be a very big night for Cruz, could be a very big night for Rubio. It might be a game changer for some of these guys because finally they can get that 800-pound elephant out of the room and talk about why they think they ought to be the next commander-in-chief.
Okay, let's look now at the Dems. Of course, they're in a tight race in Iowa. Hillary Clinton, 48%. Bernie Sanders, hot on her heels now in Iowa as well, 45%. Martin O'Malley, for the life of me, I don't understand why this guy does not poll higher with all the problems going on, and just how all the drama, Bernard.
He is a very smart guy. I had dinner with him about a year ago. Earnest, intelligent, warm, charismatic. But at the end of the day, in comparison to Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, just not enough fire there. I expect to see him on the national stage for a few decades.
Fire's a good word to use.
Sanders is firing up the crowds, but Hillary Clinton has been criticized a lot for not having that energy. Let's look at New Hampshire. Sanders way out in front there, 57% compared to Clinton's 38%, and then O'Malley at 2%. South Carolina, Hillary Clinton, though, way ahead there, Mike, 64%. Sanders, 27%.
It's just hard for me to comprehend that a self-avowed socialist could lead in any state in America. It really does speak to the problems that Hillary has in terms of credibility, trustworthiness. This guy.
Also, though, the outsider status, because we're seeing it on the Republican side as well, with the outsiders gaining so much attention and steam.
Don't forget, Vermont is basically a suburb of New Hampshire, and Bernie Sanders has been in public life in New Hampshire basically since Adam was created.
Yeah,
so he's got a lot of name recognition.
Would Democrats feel okay with having a socialist as their nominee?
No, I don't think so at all, and that's why you see national polling, Hillary is tremendously ahead. So I think that Bernie Sanders will do very well in Iowa. He could win. He will definitely win in New Hampshire, I believe. But you go into South Carolina, you go into Nevada, you go into all these southern states. Bernie Sanders' support plummets like a rock. He has the money to continue fighting well into April and May, should he so choose. But I think that the nomination will be Hillary Clinton. She's going to have to earn it, which actually is a good thing. But I think she will be our
No question Sanders is the Trump story for the Democrats, though. People like the anti-establishment, the anger, and the bluster.
Tons of books will be written about this election cycle. Mike, Bernard, thanks.
Thanks, Gretchen.